Hey guys, meteorologist Chris Tomer here with this On the Snow Before You Go forecast. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you get notified when my latest forecasts come out. All right, here are my bullet points. Kind of set the table here for the next 7, 8, 9 days. So there's this cold front stretched out over the Intermountain. It's going to weaken. Specifically, it's over Nevada, Utah, Colorado. It's going to weaken as an area of low pressure in California sucks up all the moisture, takes control, all the energy, and that's where we're going to see the emphasis for a couple of days. With the low producing rain over southern California and like Los Angeles, the fires, the wildfire areas, which is what we need. There's also going to be snow in some of the surrounding foothills and mountains above 4,000 feet, all the way up to the southern Sierra, Big Bear, up to like the 14ers and Mammoth. Then that low is going to eject out through the Four Corners and affect Arizona, southern Utah, parts of Colorado, and also New Mexico. Where does that low? Does it spin up into a stronger storm? It could. That's something we'll look at. And looking way down the road, an active early February pattern across the West. It is shaping up that way. It's looking like we could have some cold. We could have a couple of different storm systems and a fair amount of snow. All right, here's what the pattern looks like. Here are the players in it right now. So this is water vapor, low levels. So your drier air is in the oranges and the reds, and your moisture's in the whites and the blues. So you can kind of see this area of low pressure spinning, beginning to develop and grow over a lot of California. That's the low that will be the dominant player for 2 or 3 days out here. Then eventually it's going to move towards the Four Corners through Arizona, southern Utah, southern Colorado, and New Mexico. Now, at this point, it may spin up into a larger area of low pressure and generate snowfall, heavy snowfall over southern Colorado, parts of the panhandles of Oklahoma, Texas, West Texas could see snow, a lot of New Mexico. So all of that is going to be in the forecast. And then look at this big area of low pressure and the flow. This is all part of what's going to be that late January, first week of February pattern shift. So all of that is in my forecast. Here's my snow timeline. Best odds of snow for Big Sky, the Wasatch, Tetons, Colorado, interior BC, Tahoe, and the Northeast. So and you can really see the pattern. It's now a waiting game across many places of the West. It's a waiting game for that pattern shift. And that happens potentially last day of January through the first several days of February, late January, early February. So Big Sky 2-1 light, and then moderate to heavy accumulations 2-2, 2-3. That's how you read it. Wasatch, very similar. Tetons, waiting until 2-1, 2-2 for heavy accumulation. Colorado, waiting until 2-1, 2-2. Interior BC, waiting until the final day of the month into early February. Tahoe, while you have a storm developing now, a lot of it's going to be sinking to the south and then eventually ejecting out into the Four Corners, and the next best storm is 131 into 2-1. In the Northeast, light on 128, moderate 129, and potentially heavy on 2-2. So that's what's coming. Another way to look at it, this is my spider chart, odds of best snow. And I put some new resorts on here, including Crystal Mountain up in Washington, also Mount Bachelor. So 2 new ones on this, and you can kind of see them down in the corner there, the lower corner. And so more purple higher on the web, better odds of new snow. That's the bottom line. You want to pick a resort that has more purple higher on the web. That's a lot of the Pacific Northwest because eventually the pattern's going to shift and you've got heavy snow coming. Interior BC, parts of Montana, parts of Idaho. You've got parts of Utah, the Wasatch of Utah. You've got the Tetons. You've got the central to northern mountains of Colorado and also southern Colorado because you're going to get that southern track low. So there's a lot of areas to choose from. All right, here's snow accumulation over time. I'm starting this early Monday, 5 a.m. on Monday. So on this, when you see the light blues, that corresponds to under 3 inches. That's a light snow accumulation. When you see the greens popping up, and there's a few, that's 3 to 6. And if you see yellows, that's 6 plus. Okay, you can see the Southern California low taking shape with the snow there over parts of the Sierra. All right, let's move ahead. All right, here's late on Monday. That storm starts to make its move towards the Four Corners, a little bit of snow brushing the Northeast and the Great Lakes. Here we are by late on Tuesday, some snow for southwest Colorado, southern Utah, Arizona. Look at the next Clipper. So an Alberta Clipper is a weak, fast-moving storm coming out of Alberta, Canada. In that general zone. It doesn't have to be exact, but they tend to move quickly through the northern plains, the Great Lakes, and then into the Northeast. They're moving so fast that you don't tend to get a lot of accumulation. It tends to be light to moderate. All right, here we go. Late on Wednesday, look at the southern track low coming out of the Four Corners, moving into New Mexico, southern Colorado. You can see some generous snowfall accumulation in a lot of those areas. All right, here's early Thursday. There's late Thursday now. This particular model really blows up. It blossoms this area of low pressure in southeast Colorado near that preferred Albuquerque low position. We could see heavy snow in parts of Colorado, and this actually sneaks it north towards Colorado Springs and even Denver. Up in the northeast, you've got some lake effect and another little clipper, small area, light snow. Okay, here we are on lunchtime on Friday the 31st. Look how far north that snow goes in Colorado, and then it starts to die. All right, now I want to draw your attention to the Pacific Northwest. This is the 1st of February. Heavy snow returns. You can see the big returns, yellows, oranges, up there in the Pacific Northwest, interior BC. Schweitzer's in good shape. You've got a nice line of sight to some heavy snow. Okay, here we are on late Saturday the 1st. Storm starts to move to the south into Idaho, more so Idaho, into the Tetons, into the Wasatch. Montana's getting it. Here's lunchtime on Sunday, February 2nd. Look at the northeast. You may have moderate to heavy snow coming with a coastal storm system. Out west, late on Sunday, February 2nd, you've got snow diving down through Utah into Colorado. Look at the northeast just getting hammered with heavy snow. Let's talk jet stream. Here's the jet stream forecast. So we'll start this early on Monday. So what I'm looking for here are the brighter colors. That's stronger winds at jet stream level, which is about 30,000 feet. These are the steering winds for a lot of storm systems across the country. That's why it's pertinent. And so notice on Monday, you've got your low pressure. You see the cutoff low over California. That's the area of low pressure. And you can see how the winds correspond to the legend on the right in knots. Okay, let's move ahead. Now watch the low break loose, move towards the Four Corners. So this is late on Wednesday, January 29th. All right, now right here, that low could really be developing into something much stronger for Colorado and northern New Mexico. This is lunchtime on Friday the 31st. All right, now look to the Pacific Northwest. This is the first day of February. You've got a nice jet streak, new energy moving in, a dip in the jet to the north there with all that moisture hitting the Pacific Northwest and interior BC. And then it makes its move, and you've got the jet really supportive of a good snow pattern for a lot of the Intermountain West. That's early on February 2nd. Notice along the East Coast, you've got a little bit of a dip in the jet. That's going to help support that coastal storm into the early February, and there it is. So that's an active pattern as we roll into the first few days of February. All right, here's my official forecast, the 27th through the 2nd. We'll start in the Wasatch. I've got 6 to 10 inches of accumulation. Tetons, about 10. A lot of 6s through Big Sky, Bridger Bowl. A foot up there in Schweitzer, 8s through Sun Valley and Brundage. Look at the numbers up there in interior BC, 10 to 12 inches through Revelstoke, Kicking Horse, Red Mountain, a little less in Fernie, less in Marmot Basin down into Sunshine, Banff. Pacific Northwest, 1 to 2 feet coming at you. Whistler all the way through Baker, Crystal, Rainier, Stevens, down to Timberline and Bachelor, and you can see the numbers down into California. Southern Utah, 10 over Bryan Head. I've got 16 through Snowball, assuming a good track on the storm. In Colorado, southern Colorado, northern New Mexico with that southern track low could see 8 to 12 inches, maybe more of accumulation. So this will be a good pattern for that area. Central to northern mountains of Colorado, anywhere from 5 to 8. We'll likely do it there. Okay, in the Northeast, I've got big totals here. Moderate to heavy snow accumulation, 27 through 2-2. Again, you've got a couple of clippers, and you've got that coastal low, which really contributes. Pretty heavy accumulation, 6 to 12 inches through Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Snow Ridge is going to be the beneficiary of quite a bit of lake effect. I've got over a foot there for Snow Ridge, obviously. Even Whiteface, a little bit of blowout there at 10 inches. All right, so we'll end on the big western map here. This could be a very good period. Final day of January through the first week of February looks to be active across the west. We talked about the jet, and I showed you the numbers. So, guys, thanks for tuning in here. Always appreciate it. Take care and have a great day.